Alright, so we are filming on the big camera.
Filming on the big camera.
Yep. We'll be going live. We'll be going live here when the boss says so.
All right, well, do we want to do something prior to going live, or?
No, we're
you
going
wanna edit
live
that
now.
all out?
I can.
We're going
yeah, I
live
can.
now. Three,
Going live.
2, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning,
Good
world.
morning.
World. We are now, apparently we are live.
And we're cold.
Yeah, the wind is blowing and howling outside.
It's a little chilly in the desert this morning.
It does not feel like almost May. So so far we've got a signal, hopefully, and we got people chiming in yet. Good, excellent. So
And I am awake.
yeah. So it's 9 o'clock Arizona time. We are going to attempt. Hopefully our signal will hold out, and we'll be going back and forth talking to the camera.
Yeah,
and
we
the
got
live feed.
live camera there, and we got our video camera there, so our eyeballs will switch back and forth from time to time.
So for all of you brand new people that haven't tuned in to our live broadcasts, what we do, the format is, Dad is going to do the first little demo thing, kind of show you a jig that he set up, and then I'm going to come on and do some routing, and then at the end we'll do questions and answers. Vicki will be taking questions from you guys that on the live feed, and then we'll wrap it up. So hopefully somewhere around an hour. That's kind of what we normally shoot for.
And this is an LTS, that's a live training session, so we'll try to give some training, and hopefully you can take something out of this that will help you in what you're doing.
Yeah, and again, as always, the end after this broadcast is done, then I will upload it to YouTube. So hopefully, on the camera part, this will be uploaded to YouTube by the end of the weekend, if all goes well. It takes about 24 hours to load, but if it all goes well for a
Takes
signal.
that long, huh?
Oh, it's incredible. Yeah, it takes forever. But anyway,
Well,
that's.
technology is what it is. Pretty soon you can do it in a minute.
Well, there's better ways to do it, but I just don't know how yet.
Oh.
But I'll get there. So,
Brad Hoer from Australia.
hey, Brad,
Hey, from
are
Australia.
you home?
Diana
Good day, good day.
And his wife Diana.
and his wife, they're
Yeah,
sitting watching.
terrific. From Australia. Wow, that's amazing. Okay,
Incredible.
so I guess I will get out of the way, Dad, and I'll let you kind of.
I want to go to
thing.
Australia one of these days, but not
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'd rather be there than here,
It's
probably.
freezing here.
I want to go over there and hunt for some opals someday.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, maybe we can stay with Brad and Diana when we go. Anyway, all right. So you're pretty much all set up. I'll get out of the
Yeah,
way.
I got some stuff here I'll put on the bench, and
Okay.
I'm just going
We
to
got
show you
Brent
this
Ford
is
from Canada.
Brent.
Brent Ford from
Brent
Canada.
Ford
Canada.
From Canada. Welcome, Brent.
Yeah,
Welcome.
they're from North Dakota.
Cool.
Hi, everybody. Popping
I
in.
hope this
Great,
signal
great.
holds out. All right, I'll get out of the way and let you do your
All
thing.
right, we'll get started. I'm going to stand up to do this. This is
Brad says you're more than welcome here.
Good. Excellent. How's the sound, everybody?
so.
Says it's coming in great.
Good.
The way I'm going to show this is I get questions once in a while on, how do you make sure that you get your signs drilled right, and how do you drill them, and so on. So I'm just going to show you, this is just a little simple jig I made up. This is not rocket science, you can all figure this out. But since when I drill signs, I drill like 10 or 15 or 20 of them at a time, so that I have the boards ready. So when I get an order for a sign, the board is all ready and it's drilled and ready to go. So what I do is I made up this little jig, for want of a better word. And these two little marks that you see here, these are 12-inch centers.
Tip it over to tip it this way. so
Can
we
you see that a little better?
No, tip it.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Can you see those marks
Yeah.
on there?
Yeah.
Well, that means this is 24 inches, this is 6, and this is 18, so that's on a 12-inch center, and I'll show you why that is in a moment. Here's just a standard board that will be a 6x24 board. So what I can do is I can set that on there, just like that. Now if I want to raise it up a little bit, I've got these risers here. I'll raise it up just a little bit. Then I can just put a clamp on the end of it. And so I know now I can see these marks. Let me tip this again. See those marks again? I can see those marks, so I can just go right here. And the reason I like to use a jig like this is so that I can be sure that I keep my holes perfectly straight, or as perfectly straight as you can get them with a drill. Now you could, if you have a big drill press, you could use this on a drill press. It's not necessary to use it on a drill press, but now you can see this is on 24-inch, on a 24-inch board. So if you want to drill the other side, which I do, of course, now what I would do is I'd put like 10 or 15 of these on here and put a big clamp on, and I would drill 10 or 15 of them at a time. But since I've only got one here that I'm demonstrating, I'm just showing how I do this one at a time. And it even saves you time sometimes if you're measuring. It'll save you time sometimes just doing it one at a time. So that one's done. This one is basically the same thing. It's just a little bit different. Now you can use your fingers if it's slightly under 24 inches. Use your fingers to make sure it's centered. And put one clamp on it if you don't drop it. And you just do the same thing. Just go to approximately centers. Now, these holes are drilled for screw eyes, for hanging screw eyes, which we don't have a bag of here.
They should be in the drawer there.
Are they in the drawer?
I think I put them in the drawer there.
Oh, okay. These are, you can see these. Can you see these all right on camera, babe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, there's little screw eyes and S hooks. So the screw eyes fit in the hole, then the S hook will fit there. You can close it up, use that to hang it on whatever you want to hang it on. And that's why we drill these, because we do this in all of our signs. Now, for smaller signs, like this one for instance, it doesn't come up to the top, it's a little more difficult. So what I do is I just use another little riser here, 24-inch, set it on that board, and the same thing with the clamp. You can come on from the side. Now, if you're going to do a lot of these, and say, now these are not drilled on 12-inch centers. You can drill them on 12-inch centers, but you kind of have to position them. You can drill them here, or you can drill them here. If you have a particular dimension you don't want to mark on this thing, you can just put a strip of masking tape on there. And you can use a marker and say, well, I'm gonna drill these here. And then this will be the end where you're gonna put it on. So anytime you want to put that pick another one up and put it on there, you can go, this is the end. This is where you're gonna drill. Put the clamp on there. And the thing about it, you can do as many of these as you want to do on this setup. If you have 6 or 8 or 10 of them you want to get ready, that's the way to do it. And then we have another board here that's a little bit bigger than that one, but not quite as big. So I use another little riser there. It's the same thing. Now this is 24-inch, so this is about a 23-inch, so I center that on there. Take that tape off, you don't need it. One clamp on there, and you're going to go on 12-inch centers again. Now I keep this on 12-inch centers. I keep that because most of my signs are on 12-inch centers. I drill most of them on 12-inch centers. I have to be a little careful sometimes. The drill will have a tendency to want to walk on you if you're going on a on a particular grainy board. But it just makes it easy to do. And that's all there is to drilling on signs. If you want to set up a little simple jig like this so that you can drill your signs, have 10 or 12 of them at a time and drill them so then they're all ready when you get ready to carve a sign. That's really, it's really a simple little jig to make. All I did, I'll show you, and this is all 1/2 inch MDF. Every bit of it is 1/2 inch MDF. And I made this 6 by 24, a little over 6 by 24. And I took another little piece, I screwed it onto here, and then I screwed this onto there, so it took me maybe 10 or 15 minutes to make that, and it'll save hours of time in the long run. So it's not rocket science, and there's no patent on it, so feel free to copy it. It's just something I've had questions on, and I thought, Eric was talking to me about it the other day, and I thought, well, that'd be a good thing to show on the live training session. So that's a live training session. That's my part of it for this morning.
Okay.
And I'll get out of here and let my super son come in here and take over and do whatever it is he's going to do. So I'm going to take these with me. I'll get these out of the way. Come on in, son.
All right, I'll squeeze in behind you there.
I can get out of the way. Go ahead.
All right. Got it. All right. Okay. So, what I am going to do today, you got enough room to get behind that camera there, Dad?
I'll try.
All right. I'm going to do, oh shoot, I didn't bring another one of these. Anyway, this is going to be our actual, let me put that up against the board. Going to be our new layout template for the month. For the month of May, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Everything good? Okay, so this is it. I don't know if that shows up.
Fine.
Okay, so I'm going to actually carve this. I've carved it a couple different ways, but I'm actually going to carve that this morning. So I'm going to change the setup here a little bit, and I'm going to just lay this out. This is just a little piece of our cedar fencing. I can carve it in whatever, but that's what I'm going to carve it in this morning. So I'm just going to kind of lay this out real quick. This is our primer that we use. Shake it up just a little bit. Just kind of wing it here. So this will be the, that's what it looks like when it's laid out. This will be the template of the month for May, so all of the premium members will...
We've already started getting it.
Yeah, we actually started shipping them. So now how I'm going to modify this a little bit, if we had laser cut this line all the way around, then this would have fallen off. So what I do here is I'll just draw and connect those with a pencil so that I carve that. All right.
Can you show that real quick?
Yeah. I just connect that with a pencil line so I know where to carve that. All right. Let me see here. I just use this is just a little rubber pad that for all of you new people that haven't seen us do this before. A little rubber pad. Actually, I like to double them up. It grips a little bit better. And I'll kind of brush that off, make sure it's nice and dry before I put my router across there. So what I'm going to use here is I'm going to use our profile bit. And I'm going to actually put my cheaters on. Don't mind the glare from the dome.
Gene says, nice looking hat band, Eric.
Thank you, Gene. Gene's the one that made it for me. I killed the snake and he skinned it.
After you screamed like a girl.
I did not scream like a girl. That is a vicious rumor. I did not. I yelled for you so you could see it before I killed it. let's move on. All right, let's fire this thing up. So what I'm going to do is there's a couple different, and after I get done with this, I'll show you an alternate way to carve it because I've got a sample down here of what it looks like. But I think I'm pretty much set up depth-wise. I'm at a little less than 1/4 of an inch. All right. Oh, you know what? Let me move that around. Is that going to be better? Everybody ready? Here we go. I'm going whether you're ready or not.
We're ready whether you're going or not. Lift your router up like that a time or two so they can actually get a better view of what you're doing. There you go. I know if I were back here watching someplace, I'd want to get a little bit better idea of what you were doing. Hey. You're welcome. You do nice work. I learned from the best. I should say something profound, but all I know is you're right.
All right, so I want to show you what I decided to do here, guys. That line that I drew on there with a pencil, I'm going to use that, and I'm going to carve. I carved on the upside of that. Now I'm going to carve on the downside, and I'm going to leave that wood around there. You'll see how it turns out when I get it all done. Oh my gosh, I don't have my rigid router. Where's my rigid router? You guys see it?
No.
Oh man. Okay, so I don't have my rigid router. That means I'm gonna have to change router bits real quick. So you guys
Or throw things around.
throw things around, whatever it takes. Let's see. Sorry guys, I thought I had my rigid router all set up out here. I am gonna use, where's my little, well,
That's the thing about doing these live.
yeah.
You know, if we make a little mistake or we forget something, we're just going to keep rolling the camera and just.
That's the way we roll.
That's how
Like
we
a
do
fat
it.
kid downhill.
And it doesn't hurt to show somebody how quick you can change that router bit. That's pretty impressive.
Well, I've done it a time or two. All right, so now I'm going to use my 60-degree bit. I normally would use my 90 for this, but I don't seem to have one handy, so I'm going to use my 60 just to clean up the inside of the cup and those little spots. Oops, I need to turn that around. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. That's pretty much carved there. Now we're going to brush that really well. Try and get all of those little chunks out of there. Take off the high spots, which I don't see any. Spray that with a light touch so you're not overspraying. Although this is cedar, so it doesn't really have a tendency to bleed anyway. All right. That was kind of an ad-lib, the whole having to change the router bits. I really thought I had where my rigid router is. All right. We're still doing okay on time? All right, so I'm going to run the vacuum for a little bit here. It's a blower and it should dry that off. I guess I have to plug that in. Oh.
I mentioned the reason you might want to make sure that's dry.
I guess that's a good point. I want to make sure that's dry so that when I sand it off, the sawdust doesn't stick to the wet black that I just sprayed. All right, so now I'm gonna put my sanding board up here. This is again another jig that we use for sanding. Made out of 1/2" MDF, 3/4 on the back, and then 1/2" MDF here. You guys have seen me use it many times, or those of you that have watched it very much. All I'm gonna do, let's see, you know what? I'm gonna use my pad to build that up a little bit, because this cedar fencing gets kind of thin. I want to make sure that I'm up above. Actually, I'm going to use my spacer board here. Am I messing you guys up?
No.
All right. Good. All right. So let's. Yeah, it's dry. Let's sand it off. See what it looks like. I'm just going to do a rough sand. Normally I would do another sand on that, but for lack of time, I'm just going to do a rough sand. All right, so now,
Hold it up.
now the finishing touches. I'm just going to use, and you guys know I use Sharpies a lot, but these are just inexpensive felt tip marker.
We got them at Walmart.
Yeah, I think just at Walmart. The brand is
They're not paint pens, they're just felt tip markers.
felt tip pins. Yeah, and I like the chisel tip. That's the tip that I like because it allows you to do fine and fat areas. So all I'm going to do really is just color those hearts. Anytime you can integrate some color into your signs, and I especially like the look of red hearts, always is kind of a very, very popular thing. I used to make tons of signs up in Oatman when I was carving live, when I was carving on site. So that's the way it kind of turns out. So these things are really handy to have. And when they fade, if they're outside, when they fade, just color them again, whether it's got a finish on it or not. Now the alternate way to carve this, I'll show you. I was kind of playing around with it. So you can also carve it this way, which what I did was I carved away everything that was wood color, but you could also carve it this way. So that's the two different ways that you can make it look with the same layout pattern. So one is carved inset, one is carved outset. So on this one, I carved everything that was wood color, as you saw. When I carved it this way, I carved away everything that was black.
Pull that one back a little bit.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, so it's kind of a neat little logo. Vicky found this artwork and made out a template. So a lot of coffee drinkers out there, I'm sure.
I don't know. You think there's people that love coffee?
Well, it doesn't necessarily. That could be tea.
That could be
cocoa. For you in the UK, that could be tea. It could be hot cocoa. It could be bourbon. Whatever. But that's pretty much it for me, guys. That's how we doing on time? We got plenty of time?
Oh, heck yeah.
Good. Where are we at?
We're at 20 minutes after.
20 after. Wow.
See?
That's a record time.
Even after
changing the bit and all that stuff.
Right,
So
well, you can sit over there and chatter.
we'll get over here. And do we have any questions as of yet?
I can read some comments. Yep.
Read comments and questions. Okay. So I will make room for Dad. Dad, you got the camera set there?
I'll
Yeah,
take care
I'm
of the
setting it
camera.
now.
Okay. I'll get this stuff out of the way. All right. You come on over whenever you want to.
Okay, I'll take care of the camera.
Let's see. What we do. Set that up like that. I don't know if that's good. Yeah, that's not bad.
Watch your big foot.
Yep.
Watch your big foot. Big foot.
All right. So, if you've got some comments or
Are
questions,
we all focused in?
I'm working on it. All right.
our signal's been holding up, huh? Okay.
Don't curse it.
The wind is still blowing out there too, but good.
All right, here we go. Start at the beginning.
All right.
She thinks if you mention it, it puts
Yes.
a curse on it.
Yes.
I think so. Yeah.
It's not that she's superstitious.
No. All right, let's just say we got Darren Lindsay from Iowa. Hello.
Darren.
Hi, Darren.
Welcome.
Bobby Lee Russell. Good morning, everyone. Frank Jenkins told me to tell everyone hi. He's on vacation and unable to join this morning. He's currently taking a ride on the Texas State train.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw Frank wrote me about that.
All right, let's
Hope
see.
he's
we
having a
got
good time.
That sounds like the
Chris Critter.
that sounds like the train
Lomax.
ride we're going to take on Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Steve Nasby's here this morning.
Steve made a great sign.
Yeah, I saw that. It's
Oh,
awesome.
that was really cool.
Eliza Cruz, hello from Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Jenkins, Dan Winger.
Dan
Hello.
Winger.
Dennis Andrews, hello from Louisiana. Danny Jones, coming in strong from South Carolina. Bruce Peter, good morning, Sign Farbers.
Good morning, Bruce.
Dana Allison. Connie Crow Miller, good morning from Danville, Alabama. Dennis
Cool.
Andrews, these guys are becoming rock stars. Oh, goodness.
So send questions, guys. We got time to answer
Yeah,
questions.
We got plenty of time. Bobby Lee Russell, thought you weren't watching, Frank.
So Frank's on there.
Yeah. Darren Lindsay, my first LTS, so excited.
Hi, Darren.
Lions. Jamie Chute from Camp, Arkansas? AR, Arkansas. Brad Hoare, Diane Hoare,
Brad and Diana. Yeah.
Brent Ford, Mike Bradley, good morning from Maryville, Tennessee. Dave Percival, hello guys, let's see. We're just coming
You say somebody named Dave?
There's a
um,
Dave out there.
Dave Percival.
Ah, great name, Dave.
Let's see. Chuck Lyons wants to know where's your lavalier mic. Oh, it's hidden.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Good eye, Chuck.
Brent Ford, good morning from Canada.
We're using our lavalier mic as a boom mic today.
Yeah, we got it hooked up above us.
Terry
Yeah.
from Minot, North Dakota. Okay, Brad, when you guys were talking about going over to Australia, Brad says you're more than welcome here.
Oh man, that would be so cool.
Deborah Oceanbine,
Hi, Deborah and Kim.
good
Yeah,
morning.
I just got an email from Kim. He sent me his router base for his. I'm gonna modify one of our bases to fit the Ryobi cordless. So if anybody out there has a Ryobi cordless within probably a couple of weeks, I'll have modified the base to fit the Ryobi cordless.
I hear good things about that router. We gotta pick one of those.
William Leslie from Darlington, South Carolina.
Who is
Great
it?
work, guys. William Leslie.
Oh, William Leslie.
So good work, guys. Dana Allison,
Thanks.
hello from
Hi, Dana.
Hanoi, something. New York.
New York.
New York.
Oh, yo.
Yo, honey yo yo. Mike Kraft, good morning from South Canada, Illinois. Ha ha ha. Let's see, Denise Andrews, my news feed is skipping. Well, we got good feed here, so I'm not sure what's going on.
How's
there.
everybody else's signal?
Sergio Marcelo, hello guys. Danny Jones,
Hey,
sounds
Serge.
good. Deborah Oceanbite, sound is good. David McIntosh, good morning from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Wow.
Mike Cox from London, Kentucky. James
Oh, we
Raymond.
got a few viewers this morning.
That's- we got a
Naperville,
crowd.
Illinois. Jerry Ivy from Texas.
Yeah, one of these days we're gonna have that virtual reality
Yeah.
where we can all literally be in a group, even though we're hundreds or thousands of miles away. We can literally be face to face in a group. That's really, really close to reality right
All
now.
right,
Yeah.
John Wheeler from England. Chuck Lyon says, always use a lavalier mic when possible. Improve sound 100%. We are using it. Ken Sanders Sanford from Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, I was just down there yesterday. I'm gonna be down there again day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bruce Peters, sound and picture very good. Fingers crossed will not be a repeat of last month's issue. No kidding.
Yeah.
Sack says, good morning all.
Sack Earl.
Ed Dolan's here. Deborah Oceanbite says, thunderstorms going on here, so might lose, hope not. Tom Carter, good day ladies and gentlemen from Virginia.
Cool.
Tony from Surprise, Arizona.
It's just a little south of here.
Steve is in
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see, Bobby Lee Russell.
That's over on the Canyon Rim, I think. Surprise. No,
we went.
that's down by Phoenix. Yeah,
we went to Mark's house.
Yeah,
Mark
that's down-
Spagnola
that's down by
lived in
Phoenix,
Surprise. Remember, that's where we
Yeah.
went down there. Meet him.
Gumacindo, Toby Tobias.
Toby.
Good
Yeah.
morning. Video and sound is good from Elgin, Oklahoma.
Excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Ed
Questions, guys.
Dolan,
Questions. If you've got questions.
They probably are. I'm just
Okay.
going down to
Yeah.
them.
Well,
Hi
just
from
get to it.
Denver.
Let's don't run out of.
Well, I got to make sure I'm not missing anything. Shush.
Well, and on Facebook, when we see that.
We got plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Mike Fi, 85 degrees and sunny here in Castle Rock, Colorado. Wait, I see that on TV. We have 34 degrees and it's snowing 6 to 8 inches.
Yeah, I heard it's snowing up there.
Yeah, pictures. Let's see. We got North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm going down.
Wow.
Dana Allison says, nice jig, Dave. Brad Hoare says, I gotta make me one of those.
Maybe
Jerry
one
Ivy.
of those. What those?
Jigs.
Your jigs.
The drill jig?
Yeah. the
Yeah,
drill jig.
Jerry Ivy says, great idea and jig. Thanks, Dave. Brad Hoare, thanks, Dave. Darren Lindsay, another super trick from Dave. Morris Woods, good morning from Zela, Washington. Listening while
Morris.
carving. Bobby Lee Russell, thanks, Dave. Great idea. Steve.
Well, I'm glad you guys appreciate some of those ideas that we've developed over the years. So
Steve Kennedy. Dave has some great ideas. Gene Goss, nice looking hat band. We said that already.
So you can use that jig then on a drill press just as easily as with a hand drill then.
yeah, you have to set your drill press up because most drill presses you got a small base, so you might have to expand that base in order to move that jig. But
Gotcha.
it can be used on a drill press just as easy as with a hand drill.
Gotcha.
So when I'm teasing you about screaming like a girl, and
Yeah.
your snake sack says screaming like a girl, we won't let that be. No, I will
No,
not.
she's not going to forget that.
Mike Bradley, keep yourself healthy, Dave. We need your great ideas. Thanks.
Well, I'm only 83, and Genesis 6:3 in the Bible says I can live to be 120. So
So
if
you
I
got a
take
ways
care,
to
if
go.
I take care of myself, I've got another 30-some years to go. So
Yeah.
hang in there. I'll keep coming up with ideas for you.
Greg DeWolf says, when we talked about the snake, and I said, you screamed, you said you yelled. He said, yelled can sound like a scream. At least that's what I've been told. Donna Beckmeyer, Dave's tips, tricks, and jigs need to be a regular spot on all LTS videos.
See that?
Well,
See?
that's what my son
Tips,
keeps telling me, and
That
And-
popular demand. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, just keep bugging me. Sometimes I'm a little slow getting started, but if somebody bugs me enough, I get something done. I got some really neat stuff I'm going to show on this one of these days. I'm not going to mention what it is now, but I got some really neat stuff I'm
So
going to show.
keep sending him dave@davesigns.com. That's his email. Keep bugging him.
All right, Bruce Peter, I'm liking this template. Gears already spinning at the possibilities how I can use the template.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That's the thing
I
about
think it'd be
one
popular.
little idea can lead to another idea and two ideas, and somebody else can develop that, and
Yeah.
just phenomenal what one little thing that we might do out here in the desert can just spread worldwide. It's
Yeah.
it's
All right.
truly incredible with today's technology.
pretty
Sean
crazy.
Leonard says, I've seen you using Marsh ink before. What's the primer?
The primer is just an alternative. Who asked that?
Mark.
Mark? So this is, the Marsh ink is what we used for years and years and years.
That's Sean.
Sean.
Leonard.
And so what happened was, one of our students actually, I can't even remember who it was, but it was a year or two ago, one of our students tried this, and I learned, a lot of times we learn from you guys too. So one of our students tried some of this, he suggested it, I tried it, I liked it. It's a great alternative to the Marsh ink. The Marsh ink can be, if you go walk into a store and ask somebody about spray stencil ink, they will look at you like you're crazy. They don't even know what it is.
Yeah, special stores handle it, but
Yeah.
but this primer is probably equal to Marsh in that the reason that we use Marsh ink or this primer is that it doesn't soak into the wood and it dries fast and you can sand it off and not leave little black marks in the grain of the wood. That's why we use either stencil ink or this primer, which is equal to the stencil ink. It's also, I think, a little less expensive.
Yeah, a lot less, I think.
It's made by Rust-Oleum, which is a big company, so it's
And-
not likely that they're going to go out of business.
And it's easy to find. I buy mine at Walmart, so it's easy to find. It's out there all over the place.
Yeah, the Marsh ink, you have to look for it. You can find it easy online. Several places online that sell the Marsh ink, but you can't walk into a store and buy a can of it like you can this primer.
Okay. Brad and Diana
My-
both liked
My voice is a little scratchy this morning.
Brad and Diana both liked template.
The coffee cup thing.
Jerry Ivy says, I like the way you do the templates. Brad Hoare, well done. Eric, love it. Dennis Andrews, do you like primer more than ink? You kind of just answered that.
I like them the same. They
Yeah,
really,
about
they
the
really,
same.
they really are the same.
Can
I
you
guess-
hold it up? Somebody wants
Yeah.
If you like an extra $1 in your pocket,
This is
you might
cheap.
like the primer a
turn
little
it just a
better.
little bit. We got, nope, the other way.
Oh, the other way.
There you go.
I'm not really a fan of this kind of nozzle because it comes out so, you really have to have a light touch with this because it comes out so fast. I like the nozzle a little bit better on the ink, but if you can create kind of a light touch with this nozzle, then it's just as good as the ink. I don't really see a difference. It works
Okay.
just as well.
Terry Marcotte or Marcotti, do you have a router bit that makes a slotted screw hole for hanging plaques?
Okay, a keyhole. What do they call those?
A keyhole, a router bit,
A
yeah.
keyhole cutter.
Sure.
We have one, but we
Yeah.
don't sell one.
Yeah, we don't sell them. We have them, but we don't sell keyhole cutters.
But gosh, you can find those just about anywhere. What was that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that the camera or was that the phone?
I think it was something behind me.
Go to Rockler. If you want one of those keyhole router bits, go to Rockler or Eagle America.
Yeah.
And just type in keyhole router bits.
Yeah.
You'll be able to find one.
Okay.
Keyhole cutter. Yeah.
John Wheeler wanted to know which bit you used to do,
That was the profile bit.
and 90.
And the 60 actually. I used the profile bit for the, what did I do with it? For the
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 carving.
detail part. I don't know if that's going to show. That's the profile bit. I'm
Hold
sorry.
it there. I got it.
And then the one that I used for the background, the rough part, the texture, was not that one.
Can you hold it over this way a little bit, babe?
That way. Here, Dad, you hold that one,
I'll hold it.
and I'll grab a 60.
And the front of the board. There you go.
And I'll grab a 60. And then this is the 60
Nope.
this way.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I can't see, so.
Well, that's why I'm telling you.
Well, she's got both hands back there working
Yeah.
behind the
She's
camera.
double duty on the
Okay.
camera person. So this is what I did with the texture and the profile bit, and this is a 60. The profile bit is what I used for the detail part of it.
Sorry if that went a little crooked. I was leaning over to do the other camera there.
All right.
All right, so let's see what else we got here. Brad Horse says, looking well, Dave. You look full of mischief today. Every day, Brad.
Well, I'm
every
feeling
day.
good. Actually, I feel, pretty good. My energy level is up lately, and I'm actually feeling good. My knees, my old knees still, they're kind of creaky a little bit, but they're getting better.
Creaky. That's good.
Steve Nasby wants to know what kind of jig you made for the mic. It's not a jig, it's just,
We just actually, if you,
I'm not going to show.
it's clipped to the edge of the light, and then we put the box up above. So we use it since Dad and I were kind of going back and forth, and it's really a good lavalier mic. We just kind of tested it, and rather than having to switch it back and forth, it just kind of, we're using it as a boom mic, and it seems to be working. Let us
good,
know.
yeah.
Let us know what you guys think.
All right, Michael Lusk asks, the table you're using is from Harbor Freight.
Yes.
Any trouble putting it together?
No, because I had my grandson do it, so there was no issues at all for me.
We got 5 of them.
Yeah.
And he put them together. We paid him a few dollars a piece to put them together, and he was 13 at the time.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
you figure it out.
Yeah, no. It goes together easy. It's a great little
The
bench.
first one we bought, I put together.
I think
And
so,
It
yeah.
goes together really easy. Good instructions.
Yeah.
They're simple to do, and they're just a great table. I've seen the same wood table. I've seen them like for $1,200, and these are like $150, $140, $150. It's
Yeah.
just
get them
I
on
don't
sale,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, they're a great little bench.
Okay, Danny Jones, have you
Danny.
tried any of the glow-in-the-dark epoxy to use as a fill-in like the clay side?
You know, I haven't, Danny, but I do have some of that stuff. That is something that I want to do. I want to play around with that, and that's something I want to do, but I haven't done it yet. There's so many cool things that are being done with epoxies out there, and I'd like to somehow integrate those. So I haven't yet.
I will say though that in the past I've used what's called a reflective glass bead on signs. And the way you use that is that you can buy it in different colors. Now, if you're driving down the highway and you see a sign that kind of flashes at you, that's reflective glass bead, and it shines the light that hits it directly back to the source of the light that hits it. And it comes like in like little sugar or salt flakes. You can paint your sign or paint the letters on your sign, and then you can use a salt shaker literally before the paint dries and just kind of use a salt shaker effect, put the glass bead that you can get online, put that glass bead on your sign, and then when the sign is dry, if you put it up someplace in the darkest night, just shine a light on it and it'll just glare at you. It really is good stuff.
Okay. James Ravitz Sr., what RPM did you have your router set at?
Full speed. So whatever that little DeWalt is, I think it's, is it 27? I always wear
27 or 28.
I always
We
wear my
run everything at the full speed, as long as we're cutting wood. Use it full speed. It's just whatever, 28 to 32,000.
This is
Run
20.
at full speed.
This is 27, but whatever routers we use, whether they're variable speed or not, we run them at full speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're cutting metal, it's different, but if you're cutting wood, run them at full speed.
Okay,
Even if you're using air tools, sometimes air tools will turn at 80,000 RPM. And I've done carving like on eggshells and stuff, and also on wood. I run them at 80,000, no problem at all.
Dave Doe says, what brand of sanding sealer are you using?
The sanding. Hi, Dave. How are you? The sanding sealer I'm using currently is Minwax, and I use I brush it on, and I'm using the water-based sanding sealer. I kind of like it. Easier cleanup. It's thinner. It goes on better. I like the.
How long does it dry quick?
It does dry quick. Out here it does.
Yeah.
You know, I just literally slop it on with a cheap brush, and it dries within a half hour sometimes. So that's what I use currently, and it works real well. I like it.
Okay. Gumasindo, I apologize if I'm not saying that, right.
Is that Toby?
Tobias.
Yeah,
is
Toby.
it Toby is his
It's
name?
Toby,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Hi, Toby.
Is it normal to use the profile bit to outline the inset of an image and then clean out with the inside of a 60 or 90?
In this particular instance, yes. A lot of times you guys know that have been watching inset letters. Most of the time I use a 60 degree, what I used for the background here. Most of the time for inset letters I use a 60 degree, but on something like this that is pretty narrow, I like to go a little bit deeper, so I will do inset stuff sometimes with a profile bit so I can get more depth.
But don't be afraid to experiment. If you have an idea about how to do something and do it a little deeper, and just try your ideas out. It's surprising how you come up with good ideas to make good signs.
And I agree with that 100%. Sometimes it's not always set in stone what bits to use for what. I have a general rule, but you guys, once you learn what your bits will do and you kind of get comfortable with them, then play around with it and find out what works best for you. Sometimes I'll kind of change it up and do something a little bit different.
Tracy Heap says hello from Klamath Falls.
Hey, Tracy.
How do you carve a mongoose?
Carefully. I'm pretty good at it now, actually.
All right, Larry Horton, Dave, when you started making your router base, did you experiment with the knobs? If so, how did you decide which ones to use?
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I did experiment. I had some knobs that were kind of crystal knobs, and I had some knobs that I put directly on the side of the housing. Then I had some knobs that I just bought down at Lowe's that were kind of screwy looking knobs, but I thought I was going to try them. It took me to finally wind up with these and to find them and buy them in bulk. I buy them like, close to 1,000 at a time. It took me a while to find these, and I did experiment around with different ones. And I've used wood. I took some 3/4 inch dowels and just used wooden dowels for a while. But I probably had at least a dozen different experiments before I decided on these.
But these original ones, of this style, originally were drawer pulls that we got down at Lowe's.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
You can go to Lowe's and get drawer pulls of ceramics or crystals, wood, whatever you want. And these actually are just drawer pulls, but I buy them. I buy them from Amrock. I buy them in big boxes. So. But I did, I experimented with a lot of different kinds before I found the one that I liked. And I really made this, I made this originally just for Eric. I wasn't really intending to sell these as an item. I just made it for Eric because our DWP router didn't have handles on it and he wanted handles, so.
It's end up, people saw me use it, and that's why
people saw it use it, and they liked it, and the way we cut this hole in the back, and so I made videos on how to do it and figured out what I consider to be easy ways to do it, and that's it turned into a pretty good little product for people to buy and use on the routers that don't have handles. Now I don't make these to fit routers that come with handles, like the big routers, the 690 or whatever.
Okay.
Most routers come with handles, and I only make these for the small routers that don't have handles.
We're getting the move on signal.
Eric, do you also leave the primer in the fridge like you do the ink?
In the summertime, yes. In the summertime when it's hot out here and it's 110 degrees, or even, I probably when it gets 85 or 90, then I will keep this stuff in the fridge just like the ink. That's exactly right. And in the wintertime, by the way, when it's cold, I have a refrigerator that I use as a drying cabinet. It's got a little incandescent light in there, stays nice and warm. In the wintertime, I leave it in there. So I try and temperature control it so it's not too hot and not too cold.
Yeah, we keep
For
our
this
wood,
or
we
the-
keep our wood glue in there too,
Yeah.
so that it stays at a constant temperature.
Flows much easier.
It flows
yeah.
much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a lot of people commenting and making suggestions, and I don't know how many are still. So I'm just going to kind of go through the comments. You can answer those or respond to those. I'm just going to look for the questions. Okay.
Okay.
Dennis Andrews, have you ever used electricity to burn wood for the signs?
I haven't tried that, and there's a word for it, and I see it more and more and more on the Facebook groups. It's called Liechtenstein or something. I don't know. It's a certain technique, and I've showed it to you before.
No, I've never
where they
used it.
literally use electricity.
Oh, I saw that.
You've seen that? Oh, it's so cool.
amazing.
I really want to do that. If you guys have some, and this is probably a mistake, but if you guys have some suggestions of how to do that, I know some people take microwaves apart and use literally the connections.
We're not
I don't know.
electricians.
I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but it looks so cool. I love that look.
I really like Robert Repine.
Oh,
This is
jeez.
double duty, double pay for the queen.
Yes.
All right,
Okay.
Briar
Thanks,
Rose,
Robert.
hi from the UK. I will pass that one on.
Excellent.
I'm
Thanks
sorry.
everybody for tuning in. We sure appreciate
Do
it.
you recommend water-based finish?
I use water-based sanding sealer, but right now, currently, I'm only using water or oil-based finish. However, I'm open to that, and I know a lot of guys are using water-based finishes. I just haven't as of yet. I'm still playing with that Czar polyurethane, and I believe that's water-based if I remember right. So I've still got to make sure that works. So I still haven't.
I think probably any good urethane, water-based or oil-based, if they make a water-based urethane, I'd try it. I'd have no problem with it at
As
all.
long as it says it's exterior, that's the main thing.
Dennis Andrews, he says, I'm setting up at a local farmer's market. Would you bring a few examples and the rest in pictures?
You can do that. I like to have as many wooden samples, actually samples that people can put their hands on and touch and see. But I always kept a portfolio as well of past projects that I've done. So take pictures of everything.
Usually your unique signs you want in your portfolio with pictures. Your regular signs like the Johnsons, Ed and Helen, or La Familia signs. Your regular signs you want to have a display of. In a flea market, I'd have at least 20, 25. Depending on what your traffic is, but your different signs, your unique signs, have pictures of those. But your regular signs that most people will buy have examples of them that they can touch them and see them.
What are you doing?
She's showing the bench.
I'm showing the bench,
Oh.
exactly. Let's see, Paul Peterson, oops, too far. Says,
I mentioned that you got big feet, so she
Yeah.
wanted to show them.
not to get off the subject, but I've always trying to improve my shop. Can we see the table?
Oh,
so that's
okay.
what I was doing there. I
Yeah.
just didn't want to interrupt while I was doing it. So, okay.
So anyway, as far as the samples go, I think it's a good idea to have stock signs. Like I love the little coffee thing. Have stock signs that you could sell. And it would depend too whether you're. I guess it doesn't depend so much, but are you carving on site or are you just selling and then delivering the next week or shipping or whatever? But have as many samples as you can. Have color in them. If you're carving on site, keep that router running constantly as much as you can. That draws attention.
And if there are sayings that you can think of, like I used to sell a sign that says, "One old crab and one nice lady lives here," and I'd have a picture of a crab on it.
Yeah.
I'd always have 3 or 4 of those made up ahead of time. And a lot of times I'd sell them right off the rack. People would say, "Oh, gee, I want one of those,"
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have to sit up and carve it. I'd have it made. They could buy it and walk away with it.
Yeah.
So have a few samples like that. Open for business, or sorry we're closed. Anything that people might go down to a store and buy as a sign. If you have a few of those, you'll always sell
One that was real popular up in Oatman is we're we're a drinking club with a motorcycle problem.
Yeah.
Oh, we
especially
used to
this time of
sell.
year.
Yeah, we used to sell a lot of those.
A ton of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dave Anningson's from Leesburg, Florida. Hi guys, could you use a random orbital sander for sanding signs?
Absolutely, you
Absolutely.
can. Absolutely. I don't have one.
I
but
use
wanna
it
get
quite
one.
often.
Yeah.
Even now, I don't show it. I don't show it much. But for a finish sand, especially an orbital sand, when you get the sign all done, you rough sand it with a belt sander. But if you want a really high finish, an orbital sander is the best way to go.
Absolutely.
Dennis Andrews.
Yes.
This is a tough question, and we're running out of time, but I'm going to ask it.
I'll
Just
keep
it short.
Keep it brief. Okay.
As you can. How much does it cost in tools, material to start bits, stencils, router?
Woo. That's
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
I think
I started the business back in 1970 with about $400, and that included 2 routers. That included all of my supplies, sanders, and probably enough wood to make $1,000 worth of signs. So it really doesn't cost. It doesn't cost much to start the business. I started in 1970 for around $400, but I had enough material in that $400 to make about $1,000 worth of signs. So
it really.
now, if I were going to replace what I've got now, it would cost me $30,000.
Yeah.
you've got a lot of stuff.
We
I
had
got
a lot of stuff. So a short synopsis is it depends on, if you're starting from absolute zero, and you got to buy a bench, you got to buy a drill, router, sander. You could go to a pawn shop, and a lot of times you can go to a pawn shop and find a decent sander and a decent router, pick them up pretty cheap. So if you're on a tight budget, we don't, but if you're on a tight budget, you can do that. So a few $100s. Many people have started with a few $100s.
Start slow and kind of
Yeah,
build
and
up.
then let your business start selling signs, and let your business supply you, get you money so you're not out a bunch of money.
Yeah, just like when I first started.
Your number one mission is sales.
$400. I recovered that $400 2 or 3 times before I had to go out and spend any more money. So.
Yeah, let your
Okay.
business,
Toby
support
Tobias,
itself.
one more real quick, and then we gotta close. He says, this was my first LTS. Great experience with you guys and Vicki. Thanks, and I look forward to attending more LTSs. Have a safe and great weekend.
Thank you, Toby. Last
Well,
Saturday of every month.
We look forward to them too, and hopefully we'll be doing them, ad infinitum. We'll be doing them forever, but we enjoy doing them. And I'll tell you the truth, this hour goes by so fast.
Yeah,
does.
I have to keep winding you guys
Yeah,
down.
Vicky has to keep bugging us to speed it
I'm
up.
gonna get
us
one of
back.
those tasers. All
That'll
right,
make
boys.
good video.
Yeah.
We'll go viral with that one. Yeah.
I know. Okay.
All right.
All right, boys. There's a lot of other comments that.
So everybody that's watching this on Facebook, it'll be on Facebook, the whole broadcast. Forgive me if I don't respond to every specific comment. We appreciate you guys all, and I will, I'm going to read them all, but if there's hundreds of them, which I have a feeling there might be, I might not literally respond to every particular one, but don't
you
let
do
that.
pretty much.
Well, I try, but the more it gets.
Were you going to show any of these signs on this
No,
pack?
we don't have time.
Okay.
So I was going to fill in with sign carvers of the day,
Yeah.
but we'll be doing sign carvers
we've
of the
kept
day.
a good signal today.
Yeah,
I
on
haven't
Monday.
had to
Yeah,
be frustrated.
yeah. I'm so glad it worked out. So anyway, thank you guys all for watching. We
Do we have any
love.
announcements to make? We're going to be introducing a new set.
Yeah, we're going to be introducing a new layout set,
Next
which
month.
by the way, the premium members we have decided to standardize with the template of the month will now from now on won't be part of regular sets, so it'll be different. So if you're a premium member, you'll get that, but you won't
Have to
get
worry
a double
about
one when you order a set of layout templates. So the templates that we introduce here in another week or two won't have that coffee cup thing. But if you guys, is this on the website
Not
yet?
yet, no.
It'll be on the website by
Probably.
the end of the weekend, right?
Yeah.
This will be on the website, $3.50, just like all of the others.
Standard 3.5
So,
inch template.
Yeah, 3.5 inches tall, so it fits well on a 6x24. All right, you guys, that is it. I will do my best to get this posted on YouTube by the end of the weekend. For those of you that couldn't chime in live, we sure appreciate everybody watching and appreciate all the support and all the great times.
It's almost like we're just gathering with a bunch of friends.
family
Like,
reunion.
I can hardly wait for that VR to get here where we can actually talk to our viewers literally face to face.
Yeah. So we've got some exciting things coming up that hopefully we'll be announcing in the next few days, next week. We want to get some more drone footage involved in the, if we can ever get the wind from stop blowing out there, we'd have drone footage now. But anyway, guys, thanks again. Final words, I guess we're done.
Final words.
All
Have
right,
a great
so
week.
Everybody have a great weekend.
Great
We'll see you. We'll see you Monday morning for coffee and questions.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye. Somebody made a comment that I should get you electric dog collars.
Said what?